I am an architect by profession, and I have been in practice for last almost 16, 17 years based out of Delhi. We have been primarily focusing on healthcare architecture, institutional architecture, industrial buildings, and so forth. So in the last 8 to 10 years, maybe, our primary area of working and focus has been related to steel construction. Most of the speakers, in fact, all the speakers prior to me have already emphasized and re-emphasized on the importance of steel in our profession, in our industry. So I need not repeat the same facts before you. So I'll very simply take you through one of my projects, which is a very recent one. It's a senior secondary day boarding school, which is being constructed, which is coming up in a city called Ferozabad, which is about 80 odd kilometers from the city of Agra in UP. And this project has tremendous use of steel, as you would see in the following slides. The building or the project per se is not, I would be very honest with you, it's not a 100% steel building. It's a composite structure basically. But most of the important features of this project are being done in steel. For example, in this image, when you see the huge trellis pergola, which is covering the entrance plaza of the school block, is all a steel structure. So these are some of the rendered images of the project that you see. In the front that you see is the administration block. The 2 or the 3 wings behind are the higher and the senior secondary building. These are some of the project parameters, which clearly shows that the total site area is roughly a little over 10 acres, and it is being developed under 2 phases. So the first phase roughly constitutes about 5 acres of land, and the total built-up area is about 31,000 square meters. Now, when I say the first phase and the second phase, the school and the administration block will be a part of the first phase, and the residential component will be part of the second phase. So, like I said, most of the speakers have already talked a lot about the importance of steel. So, once an architect, always an architect, I'll primarily talk more about the conceptual and the design aspects of the project. Here, what you see is the immense potential of steel in any project. I always have advocated that steel is not just a structural material, and most of these conferences which I go to, steel is always made to look as if it's the skeleton and nothing more. But the fact remains that steel is a very, very versatile material. It just does not have simply or only the structural value. It has a lot more to it. And most of the times, the aesthetic value or the sculptural value of steel is overlooked or probably not paid attention to. If you look at this image, the first thing that comes to my mind is, would have it been possible, or would it be possible to have such slenderness or sleekness in these design elements had the same thing been developed in a conventional RCC or a concrete building? You look at the slenderness of these columns. You look at the sleekness of the members inside the pergola, inside the trellis, and also the surrounding elements. So why I am again and again trying to emphasize on the design aspect is because steel is, again, like I said, it has much more than the structural value. In fact, I'll just share a very simple happening that occurred to me a few months back. One of my associates, we have an office in Abu Dhabi as well, and one of my associates, when he visited India, 2 of his observations were so striking. The first thing that he told me was, when I came to India, the first thing that I noticed was that on the roads, everybody is honking on everybody and nobody's listening to anybody. So that's the fact. And second thing was that I was driving him down from the airport to the hotel. So he said, I am so amazed by the monstrous nature of your flyovers and bridges. if you come to UAE or if you go to any part of the, Western country, the same flyovers, the same bridges, the same buildings are designed with such sleekness and slenderness and such aesthetic value that they just, present a very flowery picture of architecture. It's a combination of architecture and structure. So somehow, according to him, and I agree with him to quite an extent, that, somewhere that connect between the structural, value of steel and the aesthetic value of steel the gap has been there ever since, and it is constantly been, overlooked. Again, some of the images which show you the use of steel. Like I said in the beginning, I'll be very honest with you, it's not a 100% steel building, it's a composite building with a lot of elements in steel being used for the facade, for the elements like the play area, the open air theater, the porches and the portals. Here you see the portal in front of the senior secondary is also in structural steel. The screen facades or the screens in front of the windows, the recessed windows, they are all in steel. And again, the pergola over there. This pergola, if I were to do it in stone or in concrete, would not have given me that value when it casts a very playful, picture of light and shadow at different times of the day, because the members are very sleek. From the concept point of view, these were some of the primary points that we had kept in mind, like the perception, the imagination, the inspiration, the creativity, modernity, and innovation. Like I said, as an architect, my job is to do the glamorous part and leave the technical part to the structural engineers, let them do their job. I tell them what I need, and it's them who tell me how to do it. And somehow that worked very well for us in this project, because our technical team, our structural team, which is also based in Delhi, was very sound, and they have been working a lot on the steel structures. So they gave us a very viable solution in terms of how to use the steel in different parts of the building. That's the site plan. And the most striking feature, if you look at the site plan, would be, I would say, the irregular shape of the building has nothing to do with the form of the building. Most of you might question that if the shape of the site is such, then why have I gone with such, it may look very out of the context, the plan. You may also contest that, this building can be placed in any other site as well. What has it got to do with this particular shape or geometry of the site? So the fact is that being a school, the project in itself has to be very functional. It has to be very, very efficient in terms of area usage, in terms of flow of movement of different types of users. But then we need also the fact is that it's going to be a school, so there are going to be a lot of children in different age groups. So we had to keep the building simple, but at the same time create a live, work, and play kind of environment where all the users have this, and it's a day boarding school. So the users have to find it very convenient to use it at all times of the day. So the building in itself, the plan form was kept simple, but the elevational and the facade features and the design features were made very playful. That's the typical floor. That's the ground floor plan, rather. And these are the floor plans. So what you see, a small block in the front is the admin block, with the three wings behind, which are the higher and the senior secondary block. In total, it's about 4-floor building, basement plus ground plus 2 more stories. These are some of the volumetric developments that we came up with in order to understand how the building will look like when it eventually gets built. So here what you see is, again, a very playful combination of steel and conventional building material, that is concrete. The floor slabs here are all deck slabs, so again, there's an immense use of steel in the building. This is the internal courtyard with the OAT in the center and the portal. A very different sort of placement of the building. It's a double height admin block. So the openings, these again, the admin block was supposed to be in the first phase. So this had to come up first because the brief from the client was that we need to start the operations of this building, of this school in, I think, October 2021. So we had to finish the admin block first in a period of within 12 months. So this building, the admin building was done primarily in steel, and the school wings, the senior and the higher secondary were done as a composite structure. Again, some more images to show how the use of steel has increased the sculptural value of the project tremendously. Some of the elements that we designed based on the potential of different steel. That's a part of the second phase, which is going to be a faculty housing for the staff housing for the school. Again, now this is a completely steel structure. This is a very, very small dispensary, which is going to be there in the campus for the students and the faculty. So this is all a prefabricated building in steel. Using also, here we have proposed and we are using the Kingspan panels for the envelope. Some outdoor images for the renders for the outdoor spaces like the swimming pool with the connecting bridge. This connecting bridge is also, it's going to be in steel. In total, I think we are using about 1,100 metric tons of steel in this project. Some images to show how we have conceptualized and how we imagine the interior spaces of the project or the school, with the kindergarten, the multipurpose hall, the arts and craft, gymnasium, the lobby. So all these images basically are, again, to emphasize on not just the structural or the, the skeletal value of the steel, but also the aesthetic value. And as an architect, I was more of the opinion that my urge to you is, let's, as a designer, designer can be a structural designer or an architect or an interior designer. As a designer, per se, we need to look beyond the structural value of steel and go into more that it has to offer. Thank you.